Hi, in this lecture, I will be focusing on the single phase full wave controlled rectifier, the single phase full wave bridge rectifier, which is also controlled, and then I will discuss three phase half wave uncontrolled rectifier followed by its controlled version, and then there will be some numericals to discuss, which are to do some certain calculations of the voltage current in rectifiers. So we can start from here, from this figure, which is having a transformer. We are having a thyristor over here, and this is the second thyristor. We have a load in between, and we have a freewheeling diode over here, and with the load we have an inductor to smoothen our DC, and this is a circuit of a single phase full wave controlled rectifier, because we have the control switches over here, which are thyristors over here present. So we have AC signal coming over here when we this is positive and this is negative, and during the positive half cycle the current will flow from this through this depending upon its firing angle, and then through the load, inductor and discharge over here in the central taping. And during the negative half cycle, this terminal will be positive with reference to this, and the direction of current will be through this thyristor T2 depending upon its firing angle, and will come through the load and then through the inductor and discharge over here. So we have some waveforms which are telling us its operation in a better way. If we can see that this is an AC signal which is coming at the input over here, then at the load what is being experienced, if we talk about the voltage appearing across the load, then there is during the positive half cycle, based on the firing angle of the thyristor, we have the conduction happening from alpha, which is the firing angle, towards this pi, and this voltage is going in the reverse direction as well, which is damaging the circuit. And we have some freewheeling diode which is installed over here, and this is looking after the affairs that when we have the current flowing through this load and there is a reverse spike in the voltage happening, then this reverse spike will be discharged through this freewheeling diode. And same holds for the negative half cycle. In the negative half cycle we have you can see that if we come over here during the negative half cycle, then during the negative half cycle, based on this firing angle of the thyristor T2, it will be doing the conduction from its alpha towards its designated angle, and then there will be some reverse spike of the voltage which will be controlled and restricted by the freewheeling diode. And this is the current waveform, and it is just the voltage which is giving us the better understanding. So you just see this current waveform, and these are the voltages which are appearing across the two thyristors, and the voltage which is other than the voltage appearing on the load side, all the other voltages are appearing on the thyristor side. So now we can see about the single phase full wave bridge rectifier, which is the controlled rectifier and containing about 4 thyristors. We have a voltage source in between, and we have this freewheeling diode which is connected in parallel with the load, and we have this inductor to smoothen our DC voltage effect during the when the we have two voltages. We have two dimensions of the AC signal. One is the positive half cycle and other is the negative half cycle, and when this terminal is positive with reference to this, then the direction of current will be from here towards this T1 thyristor depending upon its firing angle, going towards here and going through the load through the inductor, and then coming over here through the T2 thyristor depending upon its firing angle and discharging from here. And when we are having this positive and this negative terminal of the battery during the negative half cycle, Then the direction of current will be from here through this SCR based on its firing angle, through here and through this load and through this inductor, and then it is coming over here, and then it is coming through this T4 thyristor and based on its firing angle and discharging over here. So this is the operation of the full wave single phase full bridge controlled rectifier. And when we see its AC waveform, signal waveforms, then we have this voltage source signal which is an AC signal, and we have on the voltage side we have this is the firing angle from where it will start conduction towards this pi, and there will be a reverse spike which will be controlled by having the freewheeling diode. And during the negative half cycle we have over here there will be a kind of firing angle, and then there will be a reverse spike which will be controlled by the freewheeling diode. And we have some current waveforms and which are not as much which are optional waveforms. This is a waveform which is giving us a better understanding of this what is going on in this circuit of the single phase full bridge rectifier, which is a controlled rectifier. Now we have the circuit of the three phase half wave uncontrolled rectifier. Before that we already know that delta dimensions and y dimensions are used for distribution systems as well as transmission systems. In distribution system we basically have the wires connected for the three phase in the delta version, while for the transmission systems it is connected in the y version. So we have in three phases we have also the fourth terminal which is the neutral terminal, and one phase and neutral operating for one phase and for the other phase and for the third phase, all are 120-degree differentiating from each other. And we have over here this is a kind of circuit where you can see we have multiple transformers. One is having the primary winding connected in a delta version, and the secondary winding connected in the Y version, and is a kind of convergent transformer. We have three phases coming over here. We have three diodes because it is a an uncontrolled rectifier. We have a load connected over here, and we have a freewheeling diode to reduce the reverse spike of the voltage. And you can see that we have three phases R, Y, B. For A, B, C, all are 120-degree apart from each other. And when we see the behavior on the load side at the in the voltage waveform, then we have this kind of uh, signal where we have at a time one diode will be operating, and then we have the optional current waveforms. And this is a waveform which is giving us the picture of this uncontrolled three phase half wave rectifier and into a controlled three phase half wave rectifier, which is replacing the three switches of diode with the control switches of the thyristors. And in that we also have the reverse spike happening as in the case of previous case, and these are being controlled by the freewheeling diode. This diagram is not represented over here, but it is happening also as well as in the uncontrolled rectifiers. So we can have some formulas. We can calculate the average voltage based on the peak voltage of the AC signal. We can put the value of angle of the AC signal over here, and we can do the calculation at that instant of time of AC signal into an average DC signal. And uh, then we have some average current calculations, which is getting the peak value of the AC current, its angle at that instant of time, and we can calculate the average current by this formula. So in the first numerical of the half wave rectifier we have the AC source voltage 120 volts, and we have the load resistance of 10 ohm, and we are to calculate the load voltage and power at the side of load when we have the angles are 0 degree and 45 degree and 90, 135 and 180 degree respectively. So for that we need VM for all the calculations of the output voltage, and the for the output power we need that average voltage divided by R. So to calculate the V naught average, we have to put Vm over here. To calculate the Vm, we have this formula where we multiply this entity with the source voltage, which is already given to you, which is 120 volts, and when we multiply it with this we get the desired Vm voltage, and from that Vm voltage we can calculate the average load voltage with that formula. So for the alpha 0 degree we have the average voltage calculation, where we put this Vm over here to calculate the average load voltage, and we have the put the value of the alpha, which is 0 degree, and then divided by 2 pi we have this 54 voltage, which is the output voltage, and we multiplying its square by R, which is already given to you as 10. Then we have the power at the load being calculated, and we can do this calculation for all the values of the alpha over here. Then we have the other numerical, where there is an AC voltage and its frequency is also given, and we have a load resistance, and we have the alpha, which is 30 degree. We are to calculate these all entities. Then for the first case we have to calculate Vm, because in all these formulas and in some of them we need this peak voltage of the AC signal, multiplying it the under root by this as which is the supply voltage, and then we have the supply voltage which is given to us, which is 150 volts, and we have the Vm calculated, which is 212 volts, and we have calculated the load current from this ohmic formula. We have the average voltage formula, putting all those known values over here to calculate the load voltage, and the load current we have for this formula, putting the value all the known values over here to calculate this load current. We have for the RMS calculation this formula, and for the power we have this formula, and putting all those known values to calculate the desired entities. And we already know that we have alpha, which is the firing angle, and we have to see the conduction which will be happening after alpha till phi. So theta, which is the conduction angle, is 180 degree minus phi, which is 150 degree. We have the ripple frequency of the AC signal, which is by default 60 hertz, and it is given already in the formula. And for the power factor calculation, we have to calculate a ratio of the output power over the input power. The output power already calculated over here, the input power calculated from this formula, and then we have the power factor, which is 0.69 or 69%. So we have the third numerical, in which we are also to calculate the average peak and other voltages, so you can do it by yourself. Thank you very much.